There is massive optimism surrounding this roster lately. Bears Nation, we have two exciting updates today. A right tackle who left early Tuesday with an elbow concern is officially back. Alongside him, a rookie safety just grabbed an interception and earned an immediate starting role. I will identify both players shortly. Stay to the end, like, and subscribe for 3,000 subscribers to catch every update. Comment your city to show our reach. Luther Burden and Darnell Wright returned to practice on Wednesday, providing our offensive unit a much-needed morale boost at Soldier Field. Seeing our right tackle back on the field after that scary elbow concern from Tuesday is a massive relief, but I want to pump the brakes a little until we see how he handles full-speed reps. According to ESPN reporter Courtney Cronin, Wright participated fully, which is the exact news I needed to hear to sleep soundly tonight. Burden also rejoined the group for the first time since his groin injury on August 8th. He handled individual drills before heading inside during the 7-on-7 period. Now here's the thing about this progression. Keeping Burden on a limited snap count during this light Wednesday session was the right call from the staff, especially with that joint practice against the Tennessee Titans looming on Thursday. Is this quick recovery enough to guarantee he finds his rhythm before the season opener? Or are we just witnessing a cautious ramp-up process? I lean toward the latter because seeing him back in uniform suggests the front office and coaching staff are confident he can avoid further damage. We know the trenches define our ability to compete in this division, so getting our anchor on the right side of the line back in the mix is paramount for our pocket protection. The depth chart looks significantly more stable today than it did 48 hours ago. Yet my concern remains whether this groin issue lingers throughout the grueling grind of the fall schedule. Watching how the rotation shakes out during those joint reps tomorrow will tell me everything I need to know about their actual health status. Does that medical green light really translate to full game day readiness? Or are we setting ourselves up for an early season disappointment with these recurring injury setbacks? Waiting for the roster to stabilize is the toughest part of the preseason, but seeing those two specific jerseys back on the field changes the entire energy of our practice sessions. Luther Burden had been missing since that nagging groin injury surfaced on August 8th, leaving a void in our receiving core that nobody else could quite fill during individual drills. When Courtney Cronin reported that he was finally moving again, it signaled that our wideout room might actually be at full strength when the real games begin. Here is where it gets interesting. The team intentionally kept his workload light, pulling him before the 7-on-7 period to ensure he did not aggravate the injury before the joint work with Tennessee. Does that conservative approach convince you he is truly ready for a full-time role? I feel good about it, but I need to see him sustain that agility through a contact period before I fully trust the medical staff's assessment. Beside him, Darnell Wright returned following his own scare with an elbow concern that forced him out of Tuesday's work early. Having him back on the right side of the line is a massive win for the front office, as losing a cornerstone protector for any period would have been a disaster for our offensive chemistry. It shows me they are prioritizing his long-term health over these midweek snap counts. Are we ignoring the reality that recurring soft tissue issues often linger throughout the grueling season? I am cautiously optimistic, but I know better than to assume a clean bill of health right now. Monitoring how they respond to the physicality against an opposing defense will provide the only real answer. Seeing our primary assets return is a relief, yet I expect the staff to continue managing their reps carefully to protect the foundation of our roster. Now let's shift gears to a sobering update on our secondary, as the reality of the long season just hit us square in the jaw. Rookie safety Dylan Thieneman is officially being thrust into an immediate starting role on our defense after veteran Kobe Bryant suffered a season-ending injury. Seeing a guy like Bryant go down is a gut punch for everyone who follows the progress of this roster, but this is the brutal nature of the league. And I'll be straight with you. Losing a starter in the defensive backfield creates a massive void that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on a young player like Thieneman. Cole Kmet noted that the rookie started training camp showing some hesitation, almost as if he was unsure of his specific assignments. Yet his growth has been steady every single day since then. Kmet even praised his increased physicality against the run, expecting him to provide real help this year. Is this kid truly ready to handle the complex X's and O's at the professional level? Or are we just hoping for the best while the coaching staff scrambles to patch up the depth chart? Safety Cam Lewis, who looks like the favorite to line up beside him, calls him a smart kid who plays fast and possesses natural instincts. It is encouraging that the group feels comfortable with him, even while they navigate the daily learning curve together. On the field at Soldier Field, Thieneman has already flashed some sticky coverage that forced an incompletion from Caleb Williams, recorded a sharp interception, and broke up another pass during the final training camp practices. I am excited, but I also want to pump the brakes a little until we see him hold his own against a starting offense under real Sunday lights. Banking on a rookie to anchor the secondary feels risky, yet the upside with Dylan Thieneman is genuinely visible through his recent trajectory. While he initially looked unsure of his assignments at training camp, his rapid improvement suggests he has the mental processing speed to handle the transition. The truth is, his ability to force an incompletion against Caleb Williams proves he can hold his ground when the pocket breaks down. Coaches and veterans are clearly impressed by his quick development, and seeing teammates like Cam Lewis describe him as a smart, instinctive player gives me confidence in his potential. Does this kid have the raw talent to carry such a heavy load in his debut season? Or are we ignoring the obvious pitfalls of starting a newcomer in the trenches of the secondary? That remains the million-dollar question, because the jump from college to these complex schemes often exposes even the brightest prospects. I see the potential for a breakout, yet I have to acknowledge the reality that he is still learning the system on the fly. The depth chart shift is massive, and while the group feels comfortable, they are essentially finding their rhythm together under intense daily pressure. His physicality against the run is a needed asset, though consistency across a full snap count will be the ultimate test of his durability. My honest take here is that relying on Thieneman so early is a gamble, but it is one the staff seems forced to make given the circumstances. Will his coverage remain sticky once the game speed ratchets up in a real matchup? I'm tempering my excitement, but watching him break up passes during these final sessions at Soldier Field provides a sliver of hope that he might just be the answer we require this year. When you put both of today's stories together, here's the picture that emerges for the Chicago Bears. Both the return of Darnell Wright and Luther Burden to practice and the sudden rise of rookie Dylan Thieneman highlight a fragile roster transition that defines our season ahead. Let's be real, the front office is betting heavily on youthful depth to survive the inevitable attrition of the regular schedule. While Wright and Burden provide necessary stability for our offensive unit, losing Kobe Bryant forces us to trust a freshman in the defensive secondary much sooner than anyone expected. This means our success hinges on how quickly these young players absorb the X's and O's during these final camp sessions at Soldier Field. Are you worried that Burden's groin injury will impact his route running speed in the opener? And honestly, does Thieneman look physical enough to command the starting safety spot against established veterans? I really want to hear from you in the comments below, so let me know where you stand on these developments. Moving forward, I'm going to keep a close eye on the snap counts and rotation patterns, as these metrics will show if we truly have the stamina to compete for the division title this winter. If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. I am still pushing toward our first 3,000 subscribers, and every one of you helps me get there. Bears Nation, I'll see you in the next one. I will be back later to update you with the latest Chicago Bears news. There's plenty of movement happening across the league, and I plan to break down every single transaction as it unfolds.